Ladies, no more scraping, no more grinding, no more pounding, no more scouring, no more problems, no more mess with new Slip Away. You just spray, bake, and slip away. Yes, here in this handy spray can is new Slip Away, the revolutionary new non-stick coating for pots, pans, ovens, and grills. And Slip Away contains the magic of DuPont Teflon.
It's in your blood, your children's blood. It's in the rain, the rivers, and the soil beneath your home. And it's not going away, ever. For decades, one of the most powerful companies in America knew the truth about the chemicals they were dumping into the world. They poisoned towns, covered it up, lied to regulators, and made billions doing it. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's one of the most well-documented environmental crimes in U.S. history. And the most terrifying part? You probably still have it in your kitchen. This is the story of DuPont, C8, and the forever chemical they tried to erase from history. So how much would a company risk for profit if they knew you'd never find out? If a chemical is in your blood, but you never consented to it, who's responsible? And if 99% of Americans are contaminated, is that an accident or a cover-up? Let's try and find out.
Hello, I'm Mike Droberg, Marine Corps veteran and filmmaker, and we will try to answer these questions on today's episode of Forgotten History.
Before the lawsuits, before the dead cows and contaminated water, there was the DuPont family, America's original corporate royalty. Founded in 1802 as a gunpowder manufacturer, helped arm the U.S. through every major war from the 19th century to World War II. By the mid-1900s, DuPont had become a chemical empire, behind everything from nylon and Kevlar to Freon and dynamite. And with that empire came power. For much of the 20th century, DuPont wasn't just a company, it was a dynasty. The family was among the richest in America, their influence embedded in industry, politics, and science. They had their own town, their own hospitals, even their own cemetery. So when they introduced a miraculous new chemical, one that would make pans non-stick, fabrics waterproof, and profits explode, no one questioned it. In 1938, a DuPont chemist named Roy Plunkett stumbled upon a strange white substance that was slippery, heat-resistant, and nearly indestructible. They called it Teflon, and DuPont patented it before the public ever heard the name. At first, it wasn't for frying pans. Teflon's earliest role was classified. It was used during the Manhattan Project to coat valves and pipes carrying uranium hexafluoride gas for the atomic bomb. DuPont's chemical was so stable, so immune to corrosion, that it helped win the war. That gave it prestige and protected it from scrutiny. But scaling it for civilian use was a different challenge. Teflon wouldn't stick to anything, not even machinery trying to mold it. To solve that problem, DuPont turned to a chemical surfactant, perfluoride octanoic acid, better known as PFOA or just C8. After production, most of the PFOA is supposed to be removed, but trace amounts remain in finished products. Once the Teflon was made, there was a lot of leftover C8 in the water, the sludge, even the smoke coming out of the chimneys. And the problem is, C8 doesn't break down. Not in the ground, not in the water, not in your body. Once it's in you, it's there for good. DuPont knew that. But instead of finding a way to dispose of it safely, they did what was cheap. They dumped it into the local river, buried it in landfills, and released it into the air. In 1961, their own scientists saw it cause liver damage in rats. By 1978, they found it was linked to birth defects in workers' babies. And in 1984, they discovered it was already in the drinking water of the nearby towns. They had the proof, and they buried it. Internal memos warned, "We are already liable for the past 32 years of operations." The marching orders? Keep quiet, keep dumping, keep making money. Then in the late 1990s, a cattle farmer in West Virginia named Wilbur Tennant started noticing something wrong with his cows. They were dying violently, losing hair, drooling thick foam. Their organs shriveled. Some were born deformed, others dropped dead for no reason. Over 150 of them died. He thought he was going crazy until he looked upstream. The creek that ran through his property came from a DuPont landfill, the same one where the company had been dumping its chemical waste for years. Tennant tried getting help. Local agencies ignored him. State officials brushed him off. So he started filming everything. The dying animals, the black sludge in the water, the discolored organs during autopsies. Then he found a lawyer, Rob Bilott. Bilott was no environmental crusader. He was actually a corporate defense attorney, but he had one connection. He'd grown up near Parkersburg, the location of the DuPont Washington Waterworks plant, and once he saw the evidence, he switched sides. Bilott filed a lawsuit, and once DuPont had to open its internal records, the floodgates burst open.
Suing them for producing toxic forever chemicals used in everything from clothing to cookware to cosmetics.
Those chemicals never break down naturally, ending up in our water, soil, and even our bodies.
He uncovered tens of thousands of pages of internal memos, showing DuPont had known for decades that C8 was dangerous, and that it was in the water, the air, and the blood of people living near the plant. Wilbur Tennant wasn't crazy. He was right. And DuPont had been caught red-handed. Once Rob Bilott got his hands on DuPont's internal files, the truth was undeniable. They had known for over 40 years that C8 was toxic, and they had dumped it anyway. They had lied to regulators, their workers, and the public.
Based on our assessment of the science, we do not believe this posed any cancer.
The lawsuit with the Tennant family was just the beginning. Bilott launched a class action case on behalf of 70,000 people who lived near the Washington Works plant. To prove the health risks, a medical panel was formed. It wasn't just some quick study. It took 7 years and included over 69,000 blood samples. What did they find? C8 was in everyone. And it was linked to kidney cancer, testicular cancer, ulcerative colitis, thyroid disease, high cholesterol, and pregnancy-induced hypertension. One of the panel's doctors said flat out, there is no known safe level of exposure. In other words, any amount is too much. But even with all that, DuPont still didn't face any real criminal consequences. In 2017, they agreed to pay $671 million to settle thousands of personal injury claims. Then they did what every cornered corporation does. They cut and ran. DuPont spun off its chemical division into a new company called Chemours and dumped the liability with it. On paper, DuPont was clean. In reality, they just changed the name on the door. DuPont walked away. The settlement was a drop in the bucket compared to what they made off Teflon. No one went to jail, no executives were held personally accountable, and yet the damage was already done. C8 is now in the blood of an estimated 99% of all Americans. It's been found in umbilical cords, polar bears, rainwater, and breast milk. It doesn't break down in nature, and it doesn't leave your body. Ever. DuPont may have stopped using C8, but the industry didn't stop making forever chemicals. They just swapped it for new names. Gen X, PFHXS, PFOs, different labels, same nightmare. Enter Robert F. Kennedy Jr. While he wasn't part of the original DuPont lawsuit, he's become one of the loudest voices exposing the broader PFAS crisis. Through lawsuits, testimony, and advocacy, RFK Jr. has gone after chemical giants like 3M, Chemours, and others. He's called it the biggest environmental crime in American history, and unlike most politicians, he's actually read the science and named the names. Meanwhile, the government still hasn't banned PFAS entirely. The EPA has only recently proposed stricter limits in drinking water, decades after knowing the risks. So here's the question. If a company can poison nearly the entire planet and get away with it, what else are we being exposed to right now? And who's going to stop it if no one goes to jail? Let us know your thoughts on the DuPont scandal in the comments below.
Thank you for watching Forgotten History. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any comments or show ideas, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks again.